Good evening. The big story, we continue to track the developments in the Rajasthan Congress, a Congress legislature party meeting which was supposed to take place at 7 p.m. It's 8 p.m. now, has still not started, and there is a power play taking place. Those loyal to Ashok Gehlot, who was expected to announce to his supporters that he intends to file his nomination to run for the post of Congress president. Those supporters, some of them are saying that Gehlot should not leave. Others are saying that if Gehlot does leave, only a person the person who replaces him should be somebody who supported his government in the past and didn't participate in Sachin Pilot's 2020 rebellion. There are at least 56 MLAs or leaders who have met, who have assembled presently, and they've all met at the residence of Shanti Dhariwal, Shanti Dhariwal being one of the closest aides to Ashok Gehlot. Ashok Gehlot, for his part, has just in the last little while come out with a statement saying that he will continue to serve Rajasthan all his life. But whether or not that means that he's not going to contest for the post of Congress president or not, that remains unlikely. But I think the focus also needs to be on Sachin Pilot and his camp, and we've frankly heard not very much from that side. There was a sense that proceedings in Rajasthan would be fairly smooth. Because of the one party, one post rule. Gehlot would file his nomination, Sachin Pilot would then take over. But evidently that's not happening as smoothly as the Congress leadership would have liked. Srinivasan Jain's been tracking the latest developments and joins us now. Srinivasan, what is the latest that you're hearing on the developments in Rajasthan?
Well, Vishnu, it appears that the Congress is heading into a fairly serious crisis in Rajasthan. They were of the expectation that there could be some sort of show of strength by Ashok Gehlot or by his supporters, but nothing to the scale that we're seeing. The fact that over 50 MLAs, that's more than half the party, have essentially gathered at the home of a quote-unquote rebel camp leader now, because this is now essentially the state unit or a part of the state unit, the Gehlot faction, virtually rebelling against the High Command, indicates the depth of the problem the Congress now faces. The idea that the CLP would meet and would pass a one-line resolution asking Sonia Gandhi to decide who the new CLP leader, the Congress Legislative Party leader, in other words, the new Chief Minister, all that appears to be out of the window at the moment. So now what we're hearing is that there is an attempt by the central observers who've been sent by New Delhi, which includes Mallikarjun Kharge, who's of course the senior Congress leader of the opposition earlier in the floor of the House, as well as Ajay Maken, who's the Rajasthan in charge, that Mr. Gehlot is meeting with them and perhaps try and hammer out some kind of attempt to diffuse the crisis and to see if this meeting of MLAs can actually take place, because it's now been over an hour that it's been delayed. But whether or not that happens remains open. And crucially, I think, Vishnu, what remains open is now what is going to happen to the replacement game, because the script was meant to be that Ashok Gehlot steps down as Chief Minister, files his nomination for Congress President in the next day or two in New Delhi. Sachin Pilot takes over as Chief Minister, and that is the end of that. But if Mr. Gehlot has managed to now convey to the High Command that appointing Sachin Pilot is going to create a crisis in the party may split, there may be rebellion, then it becomes a very difficult situation for the Congress. It does appear, though, Vishnu, that Mr. Gehlot's continuing as Chief Minister is going to be difficult because he's more or less accepted that he's going to file his nomination for post of Congress President. And as you mentioned, the one man, one party, one man, one post formula has been accepted by him. So at best, what he may be trying to do is to kind of muscle his way into getting the leadership to accept somebody of his choice, a chief ministerial candidate of his choice. And that will at least be a kind of halfway house from him than having Sachin Pilot take over. Now remember, Vishnu, all this boils down to the game of numbers. Mr. Gehlot has managed to produce more than half the MLAs in his support. Remember that when Sachin Pilot, quote-unquote, rebelled in 2020, he only had about 18 MLAs, which is again one of the reasons why his rebellion fell through. So clearly Mr. Gehlot is demonstrating that he has the lion's share, or at least more than half the MLAs with him. And all of this is now going to make the High Command rethink whether they want to go through with this. It now puts them in a position where they may have to start considering some difficult choices. Of course, Vishnu, I say this all with caveats. It could well be at the end of all this that Mr. Gehlot comes around, the CLP meeting is held, the one-line resolution is passed, but increasingly that outcome does seem to be diminishing.
Where does that leave Sachin Pilot?
Well, Vishnu, it leaves him in a very difficult position because, as far as he was concerned, I guess the expectation was that if all of this goes smoothly, then in the next day or 2 or 3, he would be replacing Mr. Gehlot as Chief Minister. But he doesn't have any leverage in the same way Mr. Gehlot has in terms of control over the MLAs. So he's now pretty much left in a position where he'll have to go by how the High Command decides to handle the situation. And as I said, given how fluid it is, it's hard to see how exactly this is going to play out.
All right, Srinivasan, thanks very much for joining us with those details. So no signs over there of that Congress Legislature Party meeting, as we've been mentioning. Those Congress leaders, at least 56 leaders, are showing their loyalty or their support to Ashok Gehlot at this stage. Sachin Pilot and the numbers he has, it's somewhat unclear at this stage. My colleague Harsha Kumari Singh was saying that it would be fair to assume that those who aren't present at this meeting, several of them, if not all, would be in the Sachin Pilot camp. But again, as Srinivasan was mentioning over there, it will boil down to who has more supporters. We've not heard from the Sachin Pilot camp right now, perhaps playing his cards very close to his chest. But at this juncture, it's a real crisis for the Rajasthan Congress. And for the Congress party, it's a crisis that it can ill afford at a time when it's been losing state governments, most recently the one in Punjab. So that's the situation there right now. If you had expected to get some sort of word of the leaders within the Congress in Rajasthan acceding to what the script was, whereby Gehlot would announce his nomination to contest for the post of Congress President and Sachin Pilot would seamlessly replace him, something which Pilot had always wanted to do, to become Chief Minister. Well, that's not happening and it's not going through to script. And I think it is fair to say that this is a serious crisis within the Rajasthan Congress. This is what Ashok Gehlot said a little while back.
अभी तो मैं कह रहा हूँ मेरी इच्छा है मैं कहीं नहीं जाऊँ और राजस्थान के अंदर रहूँ मैं सेवा करने के लिए मुख्यमंत्री पद पे रहूँ मैंने कहा मैं अंतिम सांस तक राजस्थान प्रदेश वाले सेवा करूँगा चाहे मैं कहीं रहूँ किस पद पे रहूँ या नहीं रहूँ मेरे लिए महत्व नहीं रखता बार-बार बोल रहा हूँ आपके सामने कहता मैं
आपकी इच्छा राजस्थान रहने की है इसीलिए आपने कुछ दिन पहले बयान किया था मैं खास दूर बोले लेकिन नेतृत्व जो है वो आपको राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष बनाना चाहते हैं आपकी क्या इच्छा है अगर
नेतृत्व ने कह दिया कि हम न्यूट्रल हैं सोनिया जी ने कहा है हम लोग न्यूट्रल हैं जिसको खड़ा होना हो रियासी अध्यक्ष पद के लिए वो खड़ा हो तो नेतृत्व के लिहाज से सब कांग्रेस बराबर है.
Well, let's quickly move on now to the other big story we've been tracking. In fact, it's been the big story since yesterday. The ghastly murder of Ankita Bhandari, a 19-year-old woman in Uttarakhand. Her body was found in a canal in the state. The primary post-mortem says that there were serious head injuries, blunt force objects. A blunt force object hit her and that she eventually passed away because she drowned in that canal. She's now been finally cremated after the family initially wanted the final post-mortem report. There's been outrage across the state. Ankita Bhandari worked in the resort of a BJP leader's son. That BJP leader, action against the father has been taken. This BJP leader's son, Ankit, Pulkit, has been arrested as well. The police investigations are well underway. The allegation made by Ankita before she died was that this BJP leader's son was forcing her into prostitution with those who stayed in that resort. Now, in the last couple of hours, the family did decide to go ahead with the cremation. Initially, they said no. They said that A, they wanted the post-mortem report, the final one, and B, they said, why was that resort being burnt down or demolished by the police, as has been the case? When was there an effort at evidence being hidden or removed? But they finally agreed, and the police say that they're well underway in their investigations in this case. But there have been other developments as well. There's an audio tape which has now emerged. The ex-BJP leader's son, Pulkit, he made a phone call after the murder. He tried to mislead Ankita's friend who called him to ask about Ankita. Let's listen in.
हेलो
हेलो
हाँ जी
हाँ मेरी उनसे बात हो गई है स्वरूप जी से.
क्या कह रहे हैं?
कुछ नहीं बोल रहे कि मैं सर्च तो कर रहा हूँ अभी मिल नहीं रहे है ना यहाँ पे कहीं पे भी.
अच्छा
हाँ अच्छा मेरे को एक बात बताइए
हाँ,
आपका फोन क्यों लिया था उन्होंने?
मेरा फोन, उसका फोन स्विच ऑफ हो गया था, बैटरी डाउन हो गई थी उसकी, उसे तुमसे बात करनी थी। जब मैंने आपको फोन किया था ना,
9 बजे।
हाँ, जब मैंने आपको लास्ट टाइम पे फोन किया था,
हाँ जी, हाँ
तो
जी।
उस टाइम पे वो मेरे साथ ही थी
हम्म।
और उसने मेरे से मेरा फोन लिया। और उसके बाद फिर मैंने उसे कहा कि फोन दे दे, उसने कहा कि मैं आपको मॉर्निंग में दे दूंगी फोन।
और आपने दे दिया?
भाई मेरे फोन में मुझे रात में क्या करना था फोन का?
अच्छा जी, ठीक है, चलो कोई बात नहीं।
रात में मुझे फोन का क्या करना था? मेरा फोन तो उसी के पास था।
रात को?
हाँ।
तो मेरे को तो फोन तो नहीं किया उन्होंने।
क्या?
मेरे को फोन नहीं किया फिर भी।
अच्छा।
उल्टा मैंने 3 बार किया, उन्होंने उठाया नहीं, फिर ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है बताइए?
भाई देखो,
अगर
तुम्हारी क्या
अगर
बात?
अगर अगर आपका फोन उनके पास है और मैं 3 बार रात को कॉल कर रहा हूँ, तो
मेरे
एटलीस्ट
फोन
एक
पे
बार
भी
तो
किया
उठाएंगे
आपने?
ना। हाँ, आपके फोन पे।
तो मेरा फोन भी घंटी बजी
हाँ जी।
और मेरा फोन घंटी बजी और मेरा फोन भी नहीं उठाया?
नहीं, मैं वही कह रहा हूँ। ये
ऐसा
रात
तो
की
पॉसिबल?
ये रात की बात है, कोई 10:30
कितने
की।
बजे?
10, 10:30 बजे की बात है।
10:30 बजे तक तो हम लोग सो रहे थे वहां रिसोर्ट में।
अच्छा।
10:30 बजे तक तो हम वहां पे लगभग ये मान के चलो 9 बजे तक हम रिसोर्ट में थे।
हम्म।
उसको खाना सर्व किया, खाना खाया उसने।
खाना
और हम
खाया
अपने
था?
हाँ, खाना उसको सर्व किया था।
रात को?
हाँ,
कब?
हम अपने लगभग 9 बजे करीब।
9 बजे के करीब, जब आप वापिस आए थे?
हाँ।
देखिए, जब आप बाहर थे ना,
हाँ।
तब मेरी लास्ट टाइम बात हुई थी। उसके बाद आके सिर्फ आपका फोन आया था मुझे।
अच्छा।
उसके बाद से उनका फोन बंद है और अभी तक बंद ही है।
तो मैं वही तो कह रहा हूँ ना, मैं तो उसके बाद सीधा वहां आया रिसोर्ट में। और मैंने रिसोर्ट
अभी
में अपना वहीं
हाँ,
रुका। सुबह सुबह निकला मैं रिसोर्ट से 6 बजे करीब।
अभी आपका फोन मिला, नहीं मिला अभी तक?
ना, अभी नहीं मिला फोन मेरा।
नहीं मिला?
ना।
तो आप अपने फोन को सर्च कीजिए ना।
अरे भाई, मैंने सुबह सुबह उसको सौरभ को भेजा दो ना अपने फोन को सर्च करने के लिए।
हम्म।
मैंने सौरभ को बोला, मैंने कहा भास्कर को बोला, मैंने कहा सौरभ ऐसा है, वो अंकिता के रूम में मेरा फोन पड़ा हुआ है, उसे नॉक करके जो है ना मेरा फोन उठा करके चार्जिंग पे लगा दे। मैं अभी थोड़ी देर में पहुंच रहा हूँ रिजॉर्ट में। तो
ओके।
उसने मेरे को बोला कि भैया, उसने सौरभ को भेजा, उसने बोला भैया वो तो रूम में नहीं है। मैंने कहा अच्छा। और उसका सामान वगैरह कह रहा हूँ, सामान सब रखा है उसका।
अच्छा, सीसीटीवी तो होंगे ना?
प्रॉपर्टी के
हाँ
चेक
तो
करता हूँ मैं सीसीटीवी, क्या है, क्या चल रहे हैं, क्या है, क्या स्थिति है।
नहीं, चलते तो होंगे, ऐसा थोड़ी ना कि नहीं चलते होंगे, सीसीटीवी तो
ऐसा
चलते
है,
होंगे।
देखो पुष्प,
हाँ जी, हाँ जी, बोलिए।
मेरे साथ ना, मैं आपसे ज्यादा जिम्मेदार व्यक्ति हूँ, समझ रहे हैं आप?
नहीं, मुझे पता है आप
ठीक
पे
है।
ज्यादा जिम्मेदारी है।
और मुझे ना मतलब क्या बोलते हैं, ये सब सिनेरियो ना
हम्म।
मुझे कचोट रहा है। मतलब मुझे समझ में बात नहीं आ रही कि क्या आपके साथ तो नहीं है वो। मुझे सच सच बात ये बताइए।
सर, ऐसा होता तो मुझे आपको कॉल करने की क्या जरूरत थी, बताइए।
कल वो क्या बोलते हैं, कल कल शाम को भी वो यूं बोल रही थी कि मैं जा रही हूँ यहाँ से।
हाँ, वो तो मेरे को बोला था उन्होंने कि मैं थोड़ा ऐसे परेशान हूँ।
मेरे को बोला उसने कि मैं जा रही हूँ यहाँ से। मैंने कहा तू कहाँ जाएगी? कह रही मेरे को कुछ पता नहीं है मैं कहाँ जाऊंगी, लेकिन मैं कहीं भी जाती जाऊँ मैं। मैंने कहा क्या दिक्कत आ रही है बता मेरे को। बस कुछ माइंड अपसेट था, इसीलिए मैंने आपको इन्फॉर्म किया था रात को। मैंने कहा यार देखो, ये हम यहाँ व्यापार करने के लिए बैठे हैं, बिजनेस करने के लिए बैठे हैं। ना तो वो मेरी कोई रिलेटिव है, ना मेरा उसके साथ में कोई आगे भविष्य में कोई फ्यूचर है। ठीक है, मैं उसको अपॉइंट किया इसलिए कि ताकि वो यहाँ पर 2 अच्छे काम कर सके। तो वो
नहीं,
काम तो
अब
खैर क्या ही कर रही है, ऊपर से मेरे को डिस्ट्रक्शन बहुत ज्यादा दे रही है।
क्या
डिस्टर्बेंस
डिस्ट्रैक्शन?
बहुत ज्यादा है।
क्या डिस्टर्बेंस मतलब?
अरे डिस्टर्बेंस मतलब जितनी उससे हमारी अपेक्षाएं हैं कि वो जिस तरीके से वो काम कर लेती है, वो उतना कुछ भी नहीं। 24 घंटे उसका मन खराब रहता है, 24 घंटे उसका मूड खराब रहता है। आधे टाइम वो आपसे बात करती है, आधे टाइम वो क्या बोलते हैं स्टाफ के, कभी किसी से बात करती है, कभी किसी से बात करिए, पूरे स्टाफ को लेकर के इधर उधर बैठती रहती है। 2-3 बार तो मैंने आपको ये बात बोली मैंने आपको।
हम्म।
तो भाई हमारा तो क्या बोलते हैं, हम तो ये है कि उसको लेकर के बहुत ज्यादा मतलब ये, इसीलिए मैंने कल आपको फोन किया कि भाई आप अपनी कुछ प्लानिंग करो। इन्हें बोलो कि अपना ये कहीं पर शिफ्ट हो, कहीं पर अच्छी जगह यहाँ से प्लानिंग करो। क्योंकि वो कल
ये
रात मेरे
बात
को
उनके सामने बोली थी आपने?
नहीं, ये बात उनके सामने बोली थी नहीं बोली थी ये नहीं मेरे को पता। वो रूम में थी, मैं बाहर था।
ओके, ठीक है।
जिस टाइम पे ये
उनका
बात है
उनका मिलना बहुत जरूरी है, आपको पता है ना, सीरियस मैटर है
भाई।
अभी।
हाँ, तुमसे ज्यादा इस बात की मेरे को चिंता है,
नहीं,
क्योंकि
ऑब्वियसली
वो
उनके
यहाँ
घर वाले
मेरे,
छोड़ के गए हैं आपके पास।
हाँ मेरे यहाँ से उसकी मिसिंग हुई है। कहाँ गई है, क्या नहीं गई है, वो मेरी ज्यादा जिम्मेदारी बनती है। तो आप मुझे भी
ऑब्वियसली।
मेरा काम करने दो, अभी देखता हूँ मैं कहीं ना कहीं से क्या है, कुछ ना कुछ निकालेंगे उसका रिजल्ट।
हाँ, देखिए, अभी अभी तो चलो ठीक है, मगर शाम तक ये बहुत बड़ा मैटर बन जाएगा।
At this pile of woods behind me, at the bank of river Ganga, the mortal remains of Ankita Bhandari are burning as the family has finally performed her final rites. It took a lot of time for the police, the administration to actually persuade the people who were blocking the highway today to allow the mortal remains to be transported and cremation to take place. People were extremely angry. A lot of people were crying as well as far as the procedure to take the body from a mortuary to the crematorium ground is concerned. And now, even though Ankita Bhandari has left this world, she is not in this world anymore. It is up to the government and it is up to the administration to again to provide justice to the family of Ankita Bhandari, to make them again believe in the rule of law, to make them believe that there is law, there is justice in this country. Everyone is deeply anguished by this incident of how people with power, people in politics, people with power, people with clout use that power to get away after committing crimes. And similar kind of thing would have happened if not for people who were actively on social media asking for justice for Ankita Bhandari. And while the police have arrested the three men who actually murdered Ankita Bhandari, but the question that still remains is that whether there will be justice in this case, whether the police, whether the government of Uttarakhand, whether the government of India will take a look at this matter and in fact make this incident, make this heinous crime an example and provide stringent punishment to the people, to the accused of who murdered Ankita Bhandari, so that no girl in this country ever has to think twice before moving from small towns and going to big cities looking for a job to make her career. And no parent has to think twice before sending their child to cities away from them so that they can prosper in life, they can make a career of them. And that is one of the biggest concern for a lot of girls who live in cities like Podi across the country, that these kind of cases not only are taint the image of our society, but also risk their careers as well. These kind of incidents make the parents across the country insecure about sending their daughters, sending their children out to study, to make their careers. And that is the demand that is being made by each and everyone right now in Uttarakhand, that justice should be given in the case of Ankita Bhandari, so that no such crime ever takes place in our country ever again. With camera person Prem Singh, I'm Akshay Dongre for NDTV.
Welcome back. The other big development today, the important meeting of opposition leaders in Delhi, Nitish Kumar and Lalu Yadav meeting Sonia Gandhi. Questions were asked of Nitish Kumar on the entire issue of the opposition and leadership in the country. Let's just listen in to what Nitish Kumar had to say.
देखिए, हम लोग दोनों लोग एक साथ बैठ करके मैडम से बातचीत किए हैं, तो आप लोग जानते ही है ना कि हम लोगों का विचार है कि देश में अनेक दलों को एकजुट होना है और मिल करके देश के लिए आगे काम करना है, इसकी प्रगति के लिए काम करना है. तो इन सब चीजों पर हम लोग बातचीत कर रहे थे.
Well, let's just go across now to NDTV's Sunil Prabhu, who joins us for the very latest. Sunil, on the entire issue of leadership, what did Nitish Kumar have to say?
Well, leadership is something that is definitely a big question mark for the opposition alliance. But having met Sonia Gandhi, there was a more categorical statement from Lalu Prasad Yadav, who said it has been the Congress who has been fighting the BJP right from day one, and any alliance has to be with the Congress party. It's in that backdrop that Nitish Kumar says that we are evolving and speaking to each partner. We believe that everybody needs to fight together. Of course, leadership will be an issue which has to be resolved, because there are definitely issues from state to state, from region to region. For example, KCR is fighting the Congress as well as the BJP, and the Congress is fighting, for example, Mamata Banerjee in Bengal. And it's in that backdrop that they will have to find a synergy. But state-specific alliances is something that they have been talking about. Sonia, of course, made a caveat that until the Congress presidential elections, we have to wait and speak to the new Congress president and then take things forward. But we will all work together because they believe that one way or the other, the Congress has to be part of that opposition front. It cannot be without the opposition, without the Congress, which will play a critical role to take on the Narendra Modi-led government ahead of
Sunil, I'm interrupting because
elections.
I need to quickly go back to that developing story in Rajasthan. Images that we are now going to show you are of leaders close to Ashok Gehlot who are emerging from the residence of somebody, a leader close to Mr. Gehlot, in this power, the show of power by Ashok Gehlot at a time when the Congress Legislature Party meeting was actually meant to begin more than an hour back, or approximately half an hour back. That's not, more than an hour back, I should correct myself. That's not begun so far. But will that CLP meeting take place? Remember, there was a certain script which was expected to play out, where Ashok Gehlot was meant to announce to his supporters his intention to file his nomination to run in the election for the post of Congress President. But in the last couple of hours, at least 56 MLAs came to the house of one of his close aides and have said that if Mr. Gehlot is to leave, if he is to vacate the seat of Chief Minister, then there needs to be somebody from their camp who replaces him, and not from the Sachin Pilot camp. Sachin Pilot, remember, always wanted to be Chief Minister of Rajasthan. He believed that that should have been his right. Harsha Kumari Singh joins us now. Harsha, these leaders leaving now, is there going to be a Congress Legislature Party meeting today? Harsha, can you hear me? You're on air. Alright, we'll come back to Harsha.
Yes.
Harsha, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm here now. You can see this bus behind me. Now they're getting ready to leave for the Chief Minister's residence, we are told. And there are about 72 of these MLAs who are part of this group loyal to Ashok Gehlot. So you can see the bus is now ready, and any minute they're going to be going from here to the Chief Minister's residence. Apparently we are told that Mr. Ashok Gehlot and Mr. Kharge and Ajay Makan have actually moved to the Chief Minister's residence. Now what's the road ahead? Well, clearly the Gehlot group is very, very clear. They are saying that of the MLAs who stood by the government during the rebellion of 2020, someone from there should be made Chief Minister. This is their point of view. They're not in a mood to pass a one-line resolution giving it to the party high command, handing it over to the party high command. What will the high command now do is something that we have to look out for. And who could be the possible chief ministerial candidates if it is not Sachin Pilot? Well, the consensus seems to be that the front runner is someone like CP Joshi. He's a Gehlot favorite. There's also Govind Singh Dotasra and BD Kalla. These are the names we have right now. And as of now, if Pawan can just show you, a lot of activity here, waiting for, waiting for the MLAs actually to start moving out. So let's see now what happens.
Harsha, we'll leave it there. Keep tracking the story very closely. For now, it's time for this short break.